let's move on to main topic number 1. And our first main topic today gets submitted to us by Sally, who writes, "Hi, John. Due to the delays, there are only 2 comic book films left for 2020, which is a weird thing to think about. Wonder Woman 84 and Black Widow. Which one do you think will be the top grossing comic book film of the year? Birds of Prey clearly won't be. And which one are you most excited for? I am more excited for Black Widow, but I really want to see both movies. Thanks." All right. Thanks a lot for sending that in, Sally. And yes, it is weird to think, especially coming off of a year like 2019, that we're only going to get 2 comic book films this year. It's kind of weird and a little bit sad to think of it in those terms. That's true. We've only got 2 comic book films this year that are going to be coming post, Birds of Prey, which I'm trying to erase from my memory. That being said, we got Wonder Woman and we got Black Widow, both highly anticipated for different reasons. We've got Wonder Woman, that this will be Wonder Woman's second dance in a solo film. She, of course, had the original Wonder Woman. And this will be Black Widow's first solo movie, although Black Widow has been in a lot of the MCU. So we've got those 2 things going. The first Wonder Woman film was an unmitigated smash hit at the box office, making well over $700 million, and was the first out of the gate, the first female-led superhero film of the new era, the golden age of superhero movies that was kicked off by X-Men, of course, way back in the day. And then we got Black Widow, coming off an emotional ending for the character in Endgame. So which one of these 2 will be bigger? Which one of these 2 am I most looking forward to? All right, I'll answer the one I'm looking forward to more first. The one I'm actually looking forward to more is Wonder Woman 84. That's the one I'm more excited about at this point. And the reason I'm more excited for Wonder Woman 84 is because I already know what I'm getting with Patty Jenkins directing Wonder Woman. I thought Patty Jenkins did an insanely good job with the first Wonder Woman film. Despite some limitations she had to deal with, I thought she pulled off an engaging, fun, exciting movie. It had a few problems here and there. Yes, it wasn't the best comic book movie of the year, but I thought they did a really good job, especially for the first one out of the gate. Especially when you consider that Wonder Woman came out in an environment where a lot of people weren't very excited about the DCEU. There were a lot of mixed reviews on a lot of the films and all that. And in the midst of that, it came out and hit pretty well. Black Widow, I've had no interest in either a Hawkeye or a Black Widow movie for a long time. I will admit the latest trailers of Black Widow have got me on board with it. I was like, okay, sign me up. I'm looking forward to seeing Black Widow. And I certainly love Scarlett Johansson in the role, but I'm just not there on the same level of excitement as I am for another Patty Jenkins directed comic book film. So I'm going to say Wonder Woman's the one I'm more excited about. But then that brings up the question about which one will be bigger. Because there's a couple of elements here, Aaron, that we have to take into consideration. One, of course, is that Wonder Woman is scheduled to come out in August. And as of right now, in as much as we were just talking about Tenet, we don't know that Tenet's going to make that release date. And while it seems likely that Wonder Woman can make the August release date, which is another full month later, we can't say that we know that for sure. And on top of that, even once the theaters do open, how slowly will people get back into the rhythm of going back to the movie theaters again? And so Wonder Woman may be out in theaters first, but first might not necessarily be the best position in this case. Or Tenet may come out on July 17th, do way better than expected. Mulan then comes out, does great, and we got the momentum back. So there's a few variables here that we got to take in consideration. But you know what? I'm still going to say this. I'm still going to say that Wonder Woman will do better at the box office for 2 reasons. One, again, this is already a proven property. We know Wonder Woman can do solo movies. We know what Patty Jenkins can do. The last one was really successful, and I think it's going to be the bigger film. The second element that I'm taking into consideration here is that I still think there are a lot of people out there, average filmgoers, are like, wait a minute, didn't Black Widow die? Didn't she die in the and so I feel there's a little bit of an energy, enthusiasm sap out of that people know, well, this is whatever happens in this movie is irrelevant. We know that in the next year after the events of this Black Widow movie, she dies, right? So that's not going to make the movie a failure. Black Widow's going to be a success. Black Widow's going to be successful. But I'm going to go on a limb right now and say, I think Wonder Woman is the film that I'm more excited about. And I think Wonder Woman, given the variables still, I still think Wonder Woman is going to end up being the bigger film. So anyway, that's how I see it. Aaron, you look at this, which one are you more excited for? And which one do you think is going to be the bigger film?
I'm definitely more excited about Wonder Woman. And, you know, I want to be excited about Black Widow. I think Scarlett Johansson did a fantastic job. I enjoy her character, but I'm kind of on the same page as you. Like, Black Widow, Hawkeye, I don't really have... There's nothing driving me to see that. Now, the trailers look good. I'm not going to lie. But I just haven't had that thing that makes me really drawn in. Like, what... Again, I go back to what is the story? And I'm just not clear on what this particular story with Black Widow is. With Wonder Woman, yes, there is that continuation. I love the original, the first film, and also knowing that this is going to be the second in a trilogy with the Amazonians as well. Like, that is very exciting to me because I feel like this is a story that we're building upon. And I also go, you know, yes, the average film viewer who is familiar is going to know that Black Widow died. But if I'm someone who is totally outside of the world of comic book films and I know nothing about like who Black Widow is and where she fits into it, and I'm looking at these two things, I'm going to go with Wonder Woman. It's a name that the non-comic book world is a lot more familiar with as far as her story goes. I mean, yes, everyone's heard of Black Widow, of course, but if I'm looking also, I mean, I remember when I went to see Wonder Woman, how many people brought their kids to see Wonder Woman. And I feel like parents already know Wonder Woman is a movie that I can bring my kids to and I feel safe and I'm not worried about what they're going to see. I don't necessarily know that Black Widow is marketed to younger people in the same way. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I feel like DCU is a little bit more... It's not marketed as dark, I feel.
I think a lot of people would disagree with that. I mean, one of the big complaints a lot of people had about, I don't agree with the complaints, but one of the big complaints a lot of people had about the DCU was that it was too dark. It was too grim and dire and all that kind of stuff. And when we're talking about the Batman films, 100%, yeah. But I guess maybe I'm just talking about when I see Superman, I see Wonder Woman. Maybe it's just the fact that by the virtue of their characters, they're just lighter characters in general. You know, when I'm looking, if I'm thinking, as a parent, I'm not a parent, but if I were a parent and I'm going, which film do I want to bring my kids to? I go, Wonder Woman. She just seems like Superman, a little bit more light, effervescent, you know, a little bit more positivity versus Black Widow, just has a more sinister appeal. And I'm, again, not talking about character development. So before people start ripping me, well, Black Widow is this. I'm not saying that. I'm saying someone who does not know anything about the world of comic books, just the two side by side. Wonder Woman seems to be the more relatable. Right. And one that people understand a lot more. So the question we're going to ask you guys is, what do you think? As a matter of fact, I decided to make that the topic of today's question of the day. I asked you guys to chime in on this. I put this poll up on my Twitter just before we started the show. And I asked you guys, which will be the biggest, not best, superhero film of 2020, Black Widow or Wonder Woman? And right now, almost 2,000 of you guys have already voted. And right now, a slight majority of you guys are saying Wonder Woman. 59.1% of you are saying Wonder Woman is going to be the biggest box office film in the genre, despite the fact that it is right now scheduled to open earlier. And 40.9% of you guys are saying you think it's going to be Black Widow. I'm going to leave that poll up for the rest of the day so you guys can go on over there and register your votes. But for now, jump down to the comment section, guys. What do you think is going to be the bigger film out of the two? And out of the two, which one are you most excited about? Jump down to the comment section below and leave us your thoughts. All right.